Now, let me tell you something. Whenever you mentioned that he played everything, it reminds me of Dave. Yep. Well, I mean, you mentioned Dave Grohl.
Yep.
That reminded me of that he didn't have Pat Smear around, which reminded me of when Pat Smear jumped into Nirvana right at the very end, and it reminded me of how much I hated his face. Pat Smear has the most hateable face I've ever seen. I wanted to punch it so much. Because, all right, In Utero gets made.
Hold on. What about his face?
It's just the worst, the most hateable, punchable face I've ever seen. He's always had.
Toby has the worst hateable, punchable face. Toby.
You're talking about from work? McGuire?
From The Office.
Oh, yeah. That's a very hateable face, too. I agree. So, whenever you say from work, though, that's also a very hateable face. Like, there's nobody out there.
He's not that bad. He's not that bad.
I mean, he's not a bad guy, but his face is very, very punchable. But Pat Smear, first of all, it was a 3-person band.
Yep.
Okay? So, Pat Smear is a very capable guitarist.
Yes.
Right? He's amazing, actually. Mm-hmm. What he's done for Foo Fighters has been amazing.
Mm-hmm. And for Nirvana.
Absolutely. But here's my biggest gripe, if you will. Mm-hmm. So, I'm a Pearl Jam fanatic, as you know.
Of course.
All right. Yeah. Yep. So, as you remember, I'm sure, Kurt had a big problem with Pearl Jam. Do you remember what his problem was?
No.
All right. So there was an interview, right?
Yep.
Where they were like, what is your problem with Pearl Jam? And he was very quick to say. So he didn't like the fact that Pearl Jam had guitar solos.
Okay.
Because he felt like that made them just like every other band. Well, do you know why Nirvana didn't have guitar solos? Because the singer had to play the guitar. And he didn't have a chance, and he wasn't as good.
Sure.
So Pearl Jam had Mike McCready, and Nirvana didn't.
Right.
Now, if Nirvana had Pat Smear back then, they would have had guitar solos.
Yes.
So then all of a sudden, you release In Utero, and then you bring around Pat Smear. Now all of a sudden, you would be writing songs with guitar solos, and you wouldn't have this gripe, and you wouldn't be bitching about it. Like, so it's this big change in standard all of a sudden as soon as you change your lineup, and it's just more of the two-faced BS from Kurt Cobain. And so between the two faces, Kurt Cobain or Pat Smear, the more hateable one is Pat Smear. That's my take. So F Pat Smear, that's what I'm saying. So I still hate him now, 30 years later.
But I don't have a reason to hate Pat Smear, I guess.
Well, I don't either. He makes amazing music, and look, I love Foo Fighters. I've loved Foo Fighters now for not quite 30 years, so they haven't been around quite 30 years.
But I came into the game later with them.
Yeah. Right. But look, they're an amazing band, and he is an amazing part of that amazing band.
Yes.
No question.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And F him. I can't stand him. Every time I see his face.
He's a satellite guy.
If he was here right now, I would throw my laptop at him, and I don't care that it would break the laptop. It'd be worth it if it breaks his face. I just hate his face. I don't want to hurt his fingers because they play the guitar.
Right.
There's something useful they do. His face is hateable. Okay. That's all I'm saying.
Well, at least he's a satellite guy. You don't have to see him.
I just hate him. That's all.
And scene.